The difference is scalability, not just scalability, but my own mental health and satisfaction with the work. When you know that you're performing at your optimum and you're able to take your knowledge and replicate it quickly, it's a lot more fun to come to work. I'm Dr. Matthew Twombly. I'm a medical legal consultant. I do work with attorneys and clients and physicians all over the country. A lot of report writing in my work, and I had been looking for many years for report writing software because the process of generating multiple arguments explaining causation of injuries, how future treatments are going to be justified, explaining why surgeries are necessary. Those required a lot of medical research, a lot of citations, and I had about a 20-page document before I went to PhraseXpander, which listed maybe 100 different paragraphs. Each was labeled with an if-then statement. And I'd have to look through there to find whatever if-then statements applied to my current situation. And I'd have maybe 20 or 30 of those that I'd have to go copy and paste. Then I'd have to go in and search for pronouns, make sure there was agreement, add dates, change whatever variables weren't flexible enough to be programmed into a static paragraph. And the process could take anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. And it was very limiting in terms of how many clients I could work with. There was not just frustration, but a knowledge that my business couldn't grow until I found the right solution. And that was not scary per se, but it was always kind of weighing on me because I knew it was holding me back from being able to reach a lot more clients. And that it just makes work less fun when you know you're being held back and you know there's a solution out there and you just can't put your finger on it. I was terrified that I was getting into something that was going to be too complex for me to understand and really make good use of. And as it turned out, I was able to get some assistance in building out one template. And once that happened, I was able to see how the process worked, to see what language needed to be used to do certain things. And frankly, the whole process is actually very simple. I remember being under pressure to get a particular report out. I was working with a physician and we needed to get the report to an attorney, and I think it was like the next day. And I'd had this template that I had been building to put a lot of these arguments in place quickly. And I sat down to do the project, and I was a little concerned because I'm still remembering how long it took previously. And I sat down, I started going through it, and 30 minutes later it was done. And I thought, this is great. This I could get used to. And in fact, it's a lot more enjoyable doing the work now. All you do is you have a couple of keystrokes, you pull up your template, you click some radio buttons, and maybe you type in a little bit here and there, and you're done. So it's almost like you're working in a game format rather than having to slog through all of the. You don't have to go back and do the same critical thinking. You've already done it. It's a minimum of maybe 10 to 15 hours a week. But it's quite a lot. I do work a lot. And most of what I do is putting these kind of thoughts or arguments down in emails or in documents, and being able to recall these. And granted, it's at least 10 hours a week. No question, I would recommend PhraseXpander really to everybody. I can't imagine not using this at this point. It's such a huge time saver and allows you to put all of your mental energies when you're at your best into putting those thoughts into the best way to say something and then replicating it forever,